Biafran, by which I mean Ishekiri, Urobo, Isoko. If you're from Azon, if you come from a Gala, from Idoma, you are Igbo, you are a Bibio, you are Efik. I am telling you the truth. If you serve the zoo, you will come back in disgrace. The only thing left for you to fight for is Biafra. Only Biafra can save you. What they want to do. But if you ask Satan, what is the alternative to Biafra? Even Satan cannot answer, because zoo is a failed state. They will recruit all the Asabo from everywhere and fund them. Ojukwu faced worse than what we are facing today. Yet he held out for 3 years. Talk less of when we are able to match them, toe to toe. We can fight for 1,000 years, I can assure you. And thank you all for listening, wherever you are. I pray for the blessing and mercy of the Most High upon each and every one of you. We are not just... The worst mistake Buhari ever made was to arrest him. Yes. The worst mistake ever. What is going to happen? I am taking IPOB to Abuja on the 17th of next month for my court case.
We are with you, sir. We are with you.
There will be 2 million people in Abuja.
Yes. I will be there. I will be there. I will be there with you, sir. I will be there. I will be there.
We take the battle to our enemies.
Yes, sir.
And let me make this very clear to you. You are under oath.
Yes.
And by virtue of that oath, you are under direct order from me.
Yes.
Any day you wake up, you hear I've been arrested, burn Nigeria down to the ground.
Yes.
If we abandon Chukwukika Biama in truth and honesty, please goodbye to Biafra. Biafra had in the pure years. You'll be only running around in circles. It can never come. It is the kingdom of heaven itself. You want to do something that is happening in heaven, on earth, for mankind to see and testify to the goodness of the Lord. You have to be of the courage. You have to be without fear in the face of your enemies. If you are without fear before your enemies will run from you. Rather than you running from them, your enemies will run from you. If you speak the truth always, regardless of the consequences, lies will run from you. You must protect those who cannot protect themselves, not to steal from them. I repeat, it is your job as a child of heaven, IPOB family member, to protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is your job. Not to kidnap them, not to rob them. You must be of good conduct. That's Chiku Okike Abiam left. If these conditions are not in place, Biafra will not come. And talk me like an auntie. Biafra Gahabia. Ana Akatiana. Ana Abotianobu. Going to a native doctor, Dibianyanzu, cannot save you. If you want Biafra, and I am making an audition, it doesn't work. We don't believe in that rubbish. Chukwukika is our shield and our guide. We don't commune with darkness. I am warning all 17 commanders, all our commanders, we don't commune with the devil. We don't do audition. We believe in the protection that Chukwukika can offer. The weapon you need to protect yourself is your gun and your ammunition. we don't commune with spirit.
Welcome to today's live broadcast on Biafra Global Network. Today is the 8th day of June 2023. I want to welcome you. It's my honor, it's a privilege to serve at all times and to have us all here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Adazion. You're welcome. We appreciate you, and I know that we'll join soon. As you join in, please, whoever is joining right now, please share on all your social media platforms. We have come to discuss things in perspective, so that we can get the Biafra we want, as Mazen and Amdekan have said. If we don't do the right thing for truth, transparency, we would not get Biafra. It's not by juju, no matter how if you like, do all this shit from here to tomorrow, Biafra will not come if you don't stand on the path of truth. It's what we have come to do as long as we live. And thank you for joining. I don't know, I pray that the network signal will not mess us up today, because it's been raining for days now, and it's been terrible here. You know, the system, once it's raining, the weather and all of that. But anyways, we move. Today is the 8th day of June, as I told you, and this is about 37 minutes past 4 in Biafra land. And this is Biafra Global Network. My name is Kelechi Ambrose. I want to welcome you. Now, it is critical for us to look at things in perspective, especially for those people who are still confused, or those people who still want to deceive themselves. They just want to keep deceiving themselves, telling themselves lies over and over, and at the same time not looking at things critically. And as Mazen Amdekan have designed, and as Mazen Amdekan have decided to do, according to what God and Chukwokike has ordained him to do, the word of God and the word of God towards Biafra is simple. It has to be in truth, because anything that God does, or God have done, or God he's doing, he does on truth. And he said only the truth will make you free. Biafra is a signature of truth, because what we want is freedom. Anything that will tilt towards freedom must be birthed in truth. You must understand this fact. There's no changing the facts. There's no two ways about it. Anything that would be founded, or that would be gotten, that is of freedom, anything that tilts towards freedom, that goes with the narrative of freedom, true freedom. We're talking about true freedom now in perspective. It must be birthed in truth. So when we see people deceiving themselves, lying to themselves, changing words, not being straightforward, turning things around, making things look like, like let's just be politically correct. You can never be free from that context. If the Son shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. Who is the Son? The Son is truth, because Christ himself is the signature of truth. You shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. If the Son shall set you free, you shall be free indeed. So if you shall know the truth will make you free. And they say the Son shall set you free, you shall be free indeed. That means the Son is the truth. And the Son is a signature of what we have right now in Biafra. And the Son, Biafra, is in the hands of the Son. And the Son is God. You have to understand that. Truth is fundamental. Mazen Amdekan talked about truth. Now, what we have been seeing, happening everywhere, all over social media, we see lies upon lies, upon lies, upon lies. We are not ready for lies. We are for truth. That is the basis why the accountability and transparency group has come. To sustain truth, to project truth, to promote truth, and to continuously and continually keep the path of truth going. To lead all Biafrans to the gospel of truth. To make sure that we make everybody in the process of it, that's why I use the word make, to make sure that everybody under Biafra comes under the gospel of truth to achieve. There's no, see, we can't get Biafra outside truth. Mazin Amikano, you heard it from that stuff I played. You heard it from that voice message that Mazin Amikano made. There is no way we can get this freedom we are seeking. I don't know whether you're tired, whether you're not tired of being a slave. Your grandparents were born into slavery. Your parents were born into slavery. Your great-grandparents were born into slavery. We have been slaves to ourselves, and we are now even slaves to ourselves to the point where we support the slave masters. We support their programs. We support their elections. We support their taxes. We support everything they do. We betray as a means of supporting them. Because whenever you betray the cause of truth, of the gospel of truth, you are actually playing the script of the slave master. Hence, you are supporting the slave master against your own will, against your own freedom, against your own expectation. And these things are fundamental. That is why we all must begin to put ourselves together. We must begin to get ourselves on the right path. And the only way we can get ourselves on the right path is to make things right, making things right. The word making there is a present continuous. And it's a process. Making something comes with a process. You know, when you want to make a bar, let me use that narrative for those who, so that everybody can understand. The layman can understand. Of course, let's say every African should understand, especially those who are dark in complexion, you know, who are brown colored, can understand. When you talk about Eba, they can understand. Biafrans all over the nations of the world can understand. They can relate with Eba. When you want to make Eba, what do you do? What do? You get water. When you get water, you put it on fire. And then when you put it on fire, it boils. And then when it boils, you begin to put your Eba. And then when you put your Gari, and when you put your Gari, you stir. And you got Eba. That's process. The water, the putting on the gas, the boiling point, the pouring in the Gari into it, and the mixing. You get your Eba. All those who don't use, those who also know how to, when there's no more kerosene or whatever, and they don't have money to do anything, they just get the water, pour the Gari into it, and keep it, and it will just rise and swell and become hard. That's a process too. Everything that comes with truth goes through process. Everything that comes in perspective goes through process. It must be achieved through process. Now, that doesn't mean that those things that are also composed in the concept of lies don't go through process. But one thing that is a problem is this. The problem here is the concept of truth requires people who are determined to face it and go through the process. It is very easy to toe the path of lies than to toe the path of truth, because it seems like when it comes to the concept of lies, things easily fall in place because the world is a world where lies thrive, where people make things faster when they lie, when things have to be somehow for things to just work out. You saw the concept in the life of Jacob and Esau, when Jacob had to lie, to tell a lie to take the birthright of Esau. To take the blessing that comes with the birthright of Esau. He had to do the whole shenanigans of the process of getting himself to look like Esau, so that he could get the blessing, because initially Esau had actually given to him and covenanted this thing to him. Now, I want you guys to understand this, especially from that story. Remember, before Jacob was able to succeed in the lies to get the covenant, which of course, in that regard, it is not a lie, because at this time, the covenant had been given to him by Esau, who is the owner. And when Esau pronounced and said, "Hey, give me your porridge, I give you this thing," as soon as he did that, he gave him the porridge, there was a transfer, spiritual transfer. So even when Jacob said he is Esau, he was actually making it clear that he is the firstborn. Because here now he is pronouncing that he has the right already, but the father, who was not there when this right was transferred, needed to have something which might be called, in our own eyes, deception. But of course, it is an expression of what has transpired spiritually. Edith Nedu, good to have you. Good evening from here too, also to you. Thank you for joining. Now, let's bring it to the concept of Biafra. When you find yourself transferring your rights, especially when you already have the covenant, to the covenant of success and nationhood, which God has given to you, and you sell your rights by bribery, by manipulation, by whatever means that you have gotten into it, when you sell that right, you will continue to suffer the consequences of selling your right. The reason why our people are suffering today, let me tell you the reason why our people are suffering. Let me tell you something. The reason why our people are suffering is this. We are already blessed as a people. We are Biafrans. We know who we are. Couldn't view, thank you so much. Greetings, Kelechi, and everyone. Greetings to you too. Good to have you. I think I see J-Boy here. He's already pairing. Thank you so much, J-Boy. And Jaffe, our strong media man, you know. And of course, we have everybody, every one of us of Oskinion Video Media also, our right-hand man doing the great job for us, submitting and doing lots of things and extracting so many things. And we know that the Biafra warriors and fighters, everyone doing marvelously. In fact, sometimes I don't bother to do some other exposition, because when I look at some of the things they've done, you know, especially in exposing the criminality going on around, so marvelous. And I want to tell you guys that there's no way you can stop exposing criminality. You have to keep exposing them. And that doesn't mean that it dominates what we're doing. We know what we're doing. We are well organized. We are planning seriously. We are putting things together in perspective. We're doing everything. We are putting the narrative right so that everybody will come under the auspices of accountability. Now, remember, when we talk about accountability, we are talking about a platform that spells or represents you. We're talking about a platform that interprets what you should be, and that gives a narrative of how you can succeed in getting Biafra. We're not talking about a system or a body that is controlled by any person. No. We're not talking about you coming under us. No. We're not talking about you coming so we'll be your leaders. No. You guys must understand this, because some people don't understand the real concept of this transparency. It is birthed and created by the hand of God to restore the concept and the real notion of what God put in the hands of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is just like Moses. When you come to this whole thing, Moses is there, and then we have the people. Now, even the 70 elders that were put over the people were still also regarded as part of the people. Moses is the one, God gives the thing to the people, and the people now transfer it or send it to the people, hands it over to the 70 elders or leaders, and then those ones transfer it to the people. There is this transfer of information and transfer of anointing from Moses to the people. So when it comes to this concept, God has already ordained it that the accountability group is designed to get the people on the right track, but on the blessings that have been transferred from the throne of God given to Nnamdi Kanu to pass to those who carry it, those who have been mandated or anointed to carry this thing and transfer to the people. That is the procedure and the process. So what you see us do under the auspices of the accountability group, and make sure that we maintain the truth, the accountability spirit, the accountable spirit, and all of that. We are doing all of this under the auspices of the word that have been sent from Elohim. So when it comes to accountability, we are doing the right thing, and it is not anybody. Something God gives me strength and everything, and as long as I live, let me tell you, nobody would hijack this Biafra project. Is as long as the people in that place have pure heart and pure mind to work. Let me tell you, we are going through the everybody who is on the prison group. It's not as if we are saints. No, we are not saints. It's not as if we have everything 100% correct. No, we are that even in spiritual matters, there is this procedure that transforms. That be not conformed to, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That means when you become a Christian, you don't automatically and behavior, but you subject yourself to the things of the Spirit, so that with time you become transformed to a better person. That is why Paul says, place that requires process in time, resident in the bosom of the Spirit. So when you come into a system that is designed by the supernatural, knowing that you are weak in some areas, takes you through processes. That is why you find out that even if we have a system, we can have issues, we can have quarrels, we can have all of this stuff. But as long as we maintain that spirit and follow the path of that spirit, I tell you, we can't break it. We can't change. We can't miss it. Thank you so much, Conan View. Say nobody will hijack this Biafra project. That is it. Thank you so much, Conan View, for capturing that. Nobody can hijack it. See, we are called, I don't know, I want us to always have this in mind. When you see yourself as a watcher, what does it mean to watch? To watch over. Watchers are those who watch over. And what do we watch over? The truth. The truth is committed. Paul said something, in Romans. I've forgotten that part of Romans now. But I know whom I have believed, and I'm persuaded that he is able to keep that which is committed unto him against that day. Sorry, there's a meeting that's been called now. I'm just wondering, because we're supposed to be on live broadcast, which of course we are all aware of. So I don't know why that meeting is being called. We're all aware of the broadcast. I don't know why that meeting is being called. Now, you see, now I want you to understand that we are not perfect. That is why I want to come through this narrative so that Biafrans will understand. I know that we have been soiled. We all have been soiled. We have this Nigeria mentality because we were born into this system of Nigeria. Our parents were born, some of us, our parents were born into, of course, even our great-grandparents were born into Nigeria. 1914 is a long time. Nigeria became Nigeria in 1914. The contraption was composed under the name Nigeria, 1914. So you know that your grandparents, even your great-grandparents too, might be Nigerians. But some of us, our great-grandparents might not be Nigerians. They had this mindset. And some of them also began to get into the concept of evil. And some of them began to sell their own people. And some of them are those who sold us into Nigeria, because they were bribed, they were told some stuff, they were manipulated, they had so many manipulation amongst them, and those ones who are saboteurs decided to sell the people who sold our people into slavery. And when the question or the narrative of Nigeria came, they quickly cashed into it because they were promised so many things. So we know that through the process, the approach and the turnover of Nigeria, let me call it turnover, from generation to generation, turnover. Now this turnover has rubbed off on us, so that we have elements of this Nigeria behavior and attitude. That is why sometimes we are not straightforward in the way we talk. When we have meetings, you see people cannot come out boldly to say this is true and this is nice. People cannot boldly stand and say this is correct, this is not correct. People cannot stand boldly to say, no, we can't do this, this is not right. Oh, this is right. And people cannot stand boldly say, hey, what is happening now is not correct. We want to, we want to be micey, or we want to romance things. Sometimes we have this attitude, and some of us, ours is not about the word. Some of us, ours is about money. We cannot see bribery and we avoid it, or we cannot see criminality and financial crime. We avoid it. When we are bribed, when we're given a little money, we can do anything. Some people can be given 5,000, as low as 5,000, and they would go and vote for anybody during election. I remember last year? Yes, last year, November or so. Also, when the Kenyans were going into the election, you know. And I began to hear that people were given as low as, I think when you check that money in Nigeria, in Naira, it's about 3,000 to 5,000. And they just needed, and some of them who were being interviewed were just, constituting nuisance. They were saying, yes, then we want them, let them give us money. Once they give us money, we will vote for them. And the money, how much? 5,000, 3,000 Naira. In Naira now, when you convert it to Naira, 3,000, 5,000, the people go to vote. Now we have this Nigeria mentality, this slavery mentality, and it is serious. It is a very devastating problem. We have a fundamental problem. We can admit that. But the correcting of these fundamental problems will come by making. Now, remember, I said something initially. I said we cannot automatically become right or good or build a nation of our own that is void of evil and void of anything. But we can only achieve that by a process. That is why that's why it's called a process, because we are going to be made into something better. Now, remember, we are a people that have been bastardized and destroyed mentally. Now, every of this problem is on the mind. We have this mental problem. We have been bastardized. We have been, abused in our minds. We have so many problems that are bedeviling us as people who are supposed to be Biafrans, but we are Nigerians in our mind. That is why you will see that we have things that we know that this will get us freedom. We will fight it. You can imagine how far people can go, that people even went so far to sell Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is the extent people can go to betray what is theirs, to betray their nation, to betray what is going to make them free. People can go destroy what is beneficial because they want temporary satisfaction. 5,000, imagine for 4 years, somebody goes to vote for who they know is not qualified to even be their father. They go vote for that person because they want to get 5,000 or 10,000 or 3,000 or 2,000 or even 500 Naira recharge card. And after the vote and all of that, for 4 years, they're going to be under this torture and torment. They're going to be under the problem. That is in the area of election. Now you see people go to sell. You can imagine people who have the heart to sell, who had the heart to go sell Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to betray him. Now they know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is critical to the fundamentals of the Biafra liberation, and they know that the far he had gone, how far he had gone now, that he had come to the point where the dragon flag had been lifted. And the dragon flag being lifted means that some actions will begin. And people chose to now betray that action, knowing that that action is fundamental to freedom, because there is a program, there is a plan on ground. And people go to do that. You can imagine people who would send threat message like me to somebody like me who is speaking the truth on this platform. You can imagine the level people can go to want to stop the truth just because they want to remain in the lie. You can imagine how far people can go. Now, let's look at these things critically, because out of all of this stuff, we can now begin to understand the situation that we are in and how critical it is for us. Now, the whole of Biafra here is struggling because everybody have their mindset. And out of everybody that have their mindset, some of the people are not even true to themselves regarding the issue of Biafra. Some of them are not even ready for freedom. You can imagine some of them who have taken contracts, people like Asarido Kubo, who have taken contracts, the Ijaw side, to secure their own wealth for the enemy. I can't imagine it. I can't just imagine that I can go all out to secure my own wealth for the enemy. The enemy contracts me to protect my wealth for them. That means they come to take what belongs to me. They take it at random, they steal it, and then they tell me to secure it for them, and they give me stipends. Now it's very difficult to understand the mind of an average slave. It is very difficult to understand the bastardized mindset of a slave. It is very difficult and critical. Now, you see, you have to get yourself to a point that you try not to lose your mind when trying to reason out the mindset of a betrayer, the mindset of someone who has been enslaved and someone who has been, who have allowed themselves to be bewitched by the manipulation of the evil people. Now, I can't imagine that, that people from the Niger Delta area, as they call themselves Niger Delta, or the coastal, let's use the coastal region, because when we say coastal region, people might not understand. But when you say Niger Delta, that is what they want to understand, because they always want to accept the name given to them by the slave master. You call them Iguacha, they say, no, it's not Iguacha, we have Port Harcourt. There's a friend I have in that place, and I say Iguacha, and what you hear is, it's not Iguacha, it's Port Harcourt. I said, that name is Iguacha. Do you know the meaning of Iguacha? Do you know the meaning of Iguacha? Do you know the meaning of Port Harcourt? They prefer to go with the narrative Port Harcourt because it sounds nice to them, and it sounds like the politically correct name, because Nigeria calls it Port Harcourt. So when Nigeria calls it Port Harcourt, it is better than what we think should be the name. So they prefer to embrace Nigeria's naming rather than the perspective to the truth. And so they tell you it is not Iguacha, it is Port Harcourt. Whereas we have come to make them understand that that name Harcourt there is the name of somebody, as Mazen Amikan also told them, is the name of a man called Harcourt, who is a pedophile, a very corrupt man, a very immoral man who was having sex with children, boys and girls, a man, abusing children. And Lugard, the one who was in control of Nigeria then, suggested that went with that and said, yeah, that's a good suggestion. Just let that place be named by you, idiot. We know you're a corrupt man, but we want to name the people by an idiotic name, because the people go by any name we give to them. We call them Nigeria. They accept it. They have corrupt people who they call their elders, and of course, whom we forced on them, and they couldn't fight back. We call them warrant chiefs, and they couldn't fight the warrant chiefs. They couldn't stand their ground to resist the warrant chiefs. They accepted everything because they don't want to die. They accepted everything. They accepted everything. So it was hook, line, and sinker. They knew that we don't fight back. Lord Lugard knew we don't fight back. The British Empire knew back. They know that what they did is they divided us and divided us and kept dividing us without consultation. They know that we are just going to accept everything without asking. When we talk about our friend, we give historical facts to those details. We always glory in the past. We always glory in the those slaves who were, taken to the Americas to be sold and decided to drown themselves. We talk about courageous things that have. We always want to point of history and projecting. Now, if your history is of courage, if your history is of that you are a courageous people, you are people of integrity, you are Republicans, and you are people of strength and vividly strong to carry out any action and do it conclusively, and you had a history that is formidable and of truth and of strength and of of transparency and all of that, why then are you not translating this in your present behavior? That becomes the good question to ask. We always glory in the past glory, We always glory in that past glory. We always talk about how courageous we are. We always talk about how Biafrans are wonderful people. We talk about the strength of Biafrans. We talk about the mental strength of Biafrans. We talk about the economic strength of Biafrans. We talk about so many things about us. But when we look at now translating these things into the now and the operation of the now, we are lagging behind. We are lagging behind because there is no evidence of our strength. mental strength. We talk too much. We display so many things. And when it comes to the time to prove it, we begin to lag behind. We say we are people who are transparent. We believe in take bribes. We say we are courageous and we're transparent. And when it comes to the time to be transparent, we begin to dilly-dally with our words. This is what we are. And this is the time for us to mend fences. This is the time for us to change from what we are. Now, the topic here is making things right to pave the way for Biafra. Making things right to pave the way for Biafra. If we continue this way, glorying in ourselves, glorying in the errors of others, supporting error and evil, making sure that we sustain error and evil, glorifying those who are in error and evil, continually supporting error and evil because we have beef and grief. Beef and we just feel that somebody else cannot do it. It must be this person. That is how it has been. That is what made them sell Mazen and Mekano. That is what made them do all the evils they did against that man. Because they feel that, the reason why Mazen and Mekano was struggling so much to unite Biafra land was because, and is still because, the Ijaw people think that why must it be, who are you? You are from this place. You are from, and the people in Anambra say, of course, they say, who are you? You are not from Anambra. Anambra is the firstborn. And the people in Abia say, who are you? You are from Imo. We're no more together. The Fulani have divided us. We are now Umaya. We are now Abia people. We are no more Imo. We are not part of you anymore. Oh, the people of Imo says, no, who are you? We are no more part of Anambra. The Fulani divided us. We glory in the program of the slave masters. That is why we betray. That is why we cheat. That is why we cannot say the truth. That is why when we see the truth, we want to dance around it. That is why we begin to form clique when it has to do with the truth. We begin to have cliques. We begin to have clique to turn the things and all of that because it doesn't favor us. When it is favoring us, we want to stand on the truth. When it doesn't favor us, we want to dance around it. It won't work, for God's sake. Making things right is now. And making things right means having the right materials to make things right. And the right material first is to change our attitude towards this. Our attitude. The first approach is to change our attitude. Because everything that is happening to us as a nation right now is fundamentally connected to our attitude, our behaviors. I was telling us yesterday, and I was giving us the narrative of the concept. That is where these are the things, these are the points we should be understanding, and these are the things we should be looking at to spell out if we are truly on the path of truth. What do you support? Not who you support, what you support. We have found out that in Biafra narrative, it is about who you support. It is no more about what you support. Because if it is what you support, you are going to talk about the truth. If it is whom you support, you are going to talk about clique. You're going to talk about personalities, and you're going to be biased. Because that means that if I say the truth, because it is me, and you don't like me, then you will not take the truth. Because it is coming from someone you don't like. But if it is about what you support, then you will look at the truth. You will not look at me, whether it is me or someone else who is saying the truth. So it will no more be about who to support, because who does not arise. It is what is on ground that is important. What is being said, is it true? Or it is not who is saying it to determine if you will take it. The narrative that have been playing out since from the time Mazen Mekano began is, who is he? Not what is he saying? No. Who is he to say what he is saying? Biafra narrative has been, and must change. That narrative must change. The narrative of what is being said should be fundamental, not who is saying what is said. Because if you say who is saying what is said to determine if you would accept what is said, then you would have a problem to continue to remain in your slavery. I am tired of being a slave. I'm tired of being a refugee. I'm tired of being an immigrant. I want to go back to my land. So if I want to go back to my land, we have to start telling ourselves the truth. That is the purpose of what we represent. And that is why we decided to come with the concept of the transparency and accountability group, or else we'll keep dancing around in circles and enriching some people in this Biafra thing. We'll keep dancing around in circles and enriching some people. I tell you the truth. I tell you the truth. Romans chapter 9, Paul said, I say the truth in Christ. I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness. Romans chapter 9, verse 1. My conscience bearing me witness. We have taken this Biafra narrative to be who is saying what, rather than what is being said, regardless of who is saying it. So when it is Kelechi that is saying it, oh, is it Kelechi that is saying it? Then no, I can't take it, whether it is true or not. Oh, it is let me look for a name. Okay, it's Ego that said it. Oh, who is Ego? I don't know that person. That person, I don't know the name. I've not heard the name in this thing before. That name, I don't think that name is part of the popular names. No, I can't take this. We are not considering the facts. That is why when the truth is said, we are blind to the truth because we are looking at who is saying the truth. If I come to tell you now that we cannot accept that as long as the Biafra people have not looked into a situation, for instance, let's look at the international passport of Biafra. As long as the people of Biafra have not sat together to look at this narrative of the international passport and decide through their representatives, which is the National Assembly, or a committee representing the people from all provinces or constituencies or regions. As long as the people have not sat down to look into it, then the documents, whatever we present now, we give to you right now, is invalid. The people must first sit, discuss, and agree, and then it will be brought before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is the leader. That is what we call rule of law. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the leader. He appends his signature or he accents to every decision made by the people's representatives. Now, I am saying this fact because that is the rule, that is the truth. But somebody else comes here and says, it's who said that, Kelechi? No, it is rubbish. That cannot be taken. But the analysis I just gave now is correct and true. But somebody, rather than taking the truth, now thinks of who is saying it. Somebody will now say, oh, who said that thing? Oh, it's Chike Doziem. It's Chike. Oh, that should be correct. And the E-frogs, they say, oh, who said it? Oh, it's not Simon that said it, right? Oh, no, it's not. We can't take it. You can't get Biafra like that. You know why? Biafra is not about who. Biafra is about what. And what is fundamental is truth. Biafra is no respecter of any person because God is no respecter of any person. Following person rather than following the rightful ideology, what is ultimate goal getting, which is the ultimate goal getting the nation? Thank you so much, Ego, for that. The ultimate goal is the ideology. The ultimate goal is the ideology. The ultimate goal is the ideology, not the person, not who is saying it. The reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was fought against is because the people of Biafra were looking at who is saying it. Nnamdi Kanu. Who is he from? Where is he from? Abia. Who are Abia people? He's not from Anambra. Why would we take it? They just will say, who is saying it? It's not Kensariwiwa that said it. Now Kensariwiwa is Ijo. Nnamdi Kanu is not Ijo. So why would we respond to that? And the people in Ogoja will say, he's not an Ogoja man. He's an Igbo man. He's the one saying it. We don't need that. We're not ready. We're not part of it. No, as long as it is him, we must fight it. No, everybody we don't accept because it is him. Oh, Nnamdi Kanu, who is he? He's not from Niger Delta, as they say it. As long as it's not from Niger Delta, even if Abia, if you want to look at that stuff, tend to look at people. It is my man that is saying it. He's from my. Or it should be my brother. It should be. My God. We have fundamental problems. These problems. Kanu said, by truth. Now, let me give you another. Chiamaka Jerry mentioned them, but I just have to, because they are the ones who are making all this noise. Sorry, Simon has monetized his platform, so he is a career agitator. Simon has monetized his YouTube, so he's a career agitator. He gives you so many information, and then he comes finally and says that an account has been ESN. And that means Simon is a scammer. Chiamaka Ajere said it. And then the next time, Chiamaka Ajere is now, that is, of course, fact, because the account was cloned, the account is a cloned account. Put under that and that website, www.ipobinusa.org. ipobinusa.org. That account there is the account of Azuka's husband. And they clone it and put it there, and people are paying the monies of nation into it. That is basic. That is corruption. That is corruption on another scale. Now, Simon said it one time when Madam Oyibo or Oyibo, I don't know what is Madam, they like putting in their names. I don't understand anyways. No, we like titles. When Oyibo, I don't know whether Oyibo is her real name or whether it's a guy name. He said that the monies have been hijacked. Simon and Azuka said that. That why would money be put in one person's account? That should not be. And then it gets to their turn. The ideology here is you don't put money, the money of nation, into somebody's account. Now it gets to their turn. They now apply the same contrary ideology. The money is now going into Azuka's husband account, where they now make the divide and share the money amongst themselves, and then expend a little on their militia to make it look like they are working. Now, when Simon was saying it, some of his e-frogs were happy, glorifying him, because he was saying it against Moibo and co. Now we are now saying the truth, trying to expose that same thing. And somebody saying, oh, it's because it's Kelechi that is saying it. It shouldn't be carried. Why? Because we are not standing on the ideology. We are standing on the lies. People always represent lies when they don't embrace the concept of truth by the ideology. Because when you begin to chase after people, definitely you would somehow patronize lies, especially if those people are not on the path of the truth that is represented in the ideology. We have to make things right. I was giving analysis on how things are done. When you want to set a wrong precedence, it begins with small things. Somebody was saying that we have not gotten Biafra yet, so we shouldn't be talking about accountability. We shouldn't be talking about giving accounts. We should just allow things happen, and we should allow things just be. Oh, Lord have mercy. It shocked me to the bones that somebody who claims to have brain, somebody who has a brain, is saying that we should live, when Biafra comes, we will now begin to talk about accountability. We'll now begin to talk about how can you begin a nation on the template of what you don't want to see in that nation. I want us to see, I'm making this analysis so simple, using simple things to express them, so that we can even have the least, you don't need to brainstorm to understand. You just have the fundamentals of this whole thing. How can you want to eat rice and you go and buy beans? And you said after cooking, you want to see rice. Does it make sense? Does that make sense? You say you want to have a Biafra where there is no corruption, financial corruption, for instance. And the people claiming to be looking for Biafra or fighting to get Biafra are operating the funds for this same purpose of getting Biafra. And they are not giving you accounts of those funds. I don't know if Comrade Ken can hear me. Please, I wish you can send me that video where Azuka was saying that anybody who asks of account will be blocked. I wish I can have it. Now, how can you expect to fight for something that you claim is going to be transparent, truthful, accountable, and all of that, and your action and everything you are doing and every tool you are applying is contrary to what you want to see in that thing you're looking for? How? How? Ego says it's always bad when there is no separation of responsibility. Definitely, you would always get it wrong when you don't have separation of responsibility or separation of powers. And then checks, balance, checks and balance, checks, balance. You would always get it wrong. As much as you have the separation, people divided responsibility, for specialization and all of that. You still need checks, balance. That is why you talk about accountability. That is where the checks, balance come in. The checks, balance that you want come in under the auspices of our accountability, and transparency. Now, transparency defines the structure. Now, let me explain accountability and transparency to you. Transparency is a definition that goes with the structure, which provides that everything is meandered smoothly. That means by transparency, you can easily understand the fullness of the makeup the formation is completely understood. The narrative behind the formation is understood. The concept formation is understood. The purpose and the objective is clear. That is transparency. Transparency is evident in objectives. That means by transparency, the procedure in which you are going to apply or you want to adopt, the process, the procedure you're adopting for what you want to achieve or for the objectives that you have is smooth, is easy to understand. That is why when it comes to military tactics, there's something called transparency. They bring everybody on board. They already have a transcribed template. They look on the map, they look on the plan, they explain it to everybody who is going to be part of that team. They explain the tactics, they tell everybody, this person is here, that person is here, the other person is here. The other person is here. And then each person who is at a particular place understands his role at a particular place. And then they now connect the whole thing to a particular point. And that gives the pronouncement of the structure in clear terms. Now, that is transparency. Now, what is accountability? Accountability now means that once that structure is set, once that structure is defined, once that structure is clearly understood, the people who sit to interpret that structural disposition or structural makeup based on their responsibilities or based on what they should do by their functions will now carry out these things according to the order of the transcribed program and function, which means that what they do must be in line with the function that connects that structure. So for me to be accountable or to operate in an accountable spirit, when I'm given a function, what I do is this. I follow the procedure according to the standard of the structure, which is defined by the objective and the rules that govern the objective. Now, transparency now is, as soon as I carry out that program, I would report to the fundamental or the body itself how I carried out the program. So when you come to under the auspices of accountability and transparency, the group we run right now, which will help us get Biafra, everybody is under the program or the structure, which is the transparent structure. That is why we told you about the structure. Explained each structure, each aspect of the structure is explained how they have each structure has function. The security department, the finance, the department, the different have are defined by the functions. Now, these functions gives us the formation of the group. That is critical. So when you come into the accountability and transparency group, the first thing you do, or the first thing that happens, is that you fall in function of the group. Remember, there is a collective function of the group. There's a structural dimension Thank you so much, Ego, for that. Yes, that's it. The collective function of the group and the structural being under that structural disposition. So now, the transparency here now explains them to the structure. You know that this is how it operates. If is how they do it, then there are checks and there's a report that goes to the secretariat. The secretariat also sends the report to the executive board. The executive board, of course, and they know to the people now harness it. The people now endorse it. As soon as the people endorse it, they send it to the executive board, who now append the signature for this thing to be carried out, and then it is now sent back to the secretariat. The secretariat now takes it back to takes it to that office or that department that need to carry that out, and then it is approved. And as soon as it's approved, that is disbursed, and then this is where transparency, accountability is now explained. Now, all these things I mentioned now is under transparency. Now, when it comes to accountability, now that department that is being, that is carrying out this function right now, that warranted all this procedural, tactics or process of them, program that I just explained now, that department now will based on this, carry out that function after that approval. And then let's just assume that is the welfare department that carried out that action, and then the responsibility is given to them, and then they now send a request. The request goes through that process and everything, and finally approved by the general committee or the group, and then the executive board now appends signature on it, sends back to that welfare department. The welfare department now carries out that action, and every step in which they carried out that action must be accounted for. Now, do you understand how it rolls? That is how accountability and transparency is defined, which means as soon as they carry out that program, and maybe along the line of carrying out that program, they are able to get the program done in a specific time of 2 weeks or so, and so thing was expended at a particular time for each day. They are going to also have the documentation that shows that each day so thing was expended and this program was completed in 2 weeks, and that report must be submitted to the secretariat, and then from the secretariat to the people. Accountability. Ifeanyi says your tenacity is well appreciated. It's a daunting task to convince our people to do the right thing because of their preference for half-baked individuals who play to this gallery. I don't want us to always come with this narrative. I've told you people, whenever you are trying to get the people to believe in the right thing, don't come with a narrative that people are half-baked, they don't listen, they don't leave all those things. It is not in your power to make people believe. It is in the power of the spirit behind what we are saying that convinces the people. It is not my job to convince anybody. All I do is send the message. He sends the word, and the word heals. We should understand spiritual matters and at the same time understand how things work. He sends his words, and his words heal them. It is the word that heals. He sends it. So the word is being sent now. Ifeanyi, you understand this? The word is being sent because this word is propelled by the spirit of Biafra. That spirit that governs Biafra from God now touches the heart of the people. And let me tell you, not everybody will accept it. Even the gospel of Christ, not everybody accepts it. So leave the issue of half-baked and all that. The people daily are being changed by the words. But we have to let people understand all of this stuff. Thank you so much, Ego. You got it right. Keep cracking, the stone will burst open very soon. You keep cracking, or scratching the stone. Before you know, the fire will come out of it. You'll be ignited. Prince is here. Prince says, how can one say they want to eat rice and go for some someone cooking beans. Oh Lord have mercy. Mazinam Kanu Epobi, who have always been from Republic of Biafra, want to restore their nation, but Biafra Republic been offered. Now, it is as clear as it is. We can't have a menu for the people and then somebody now prepares another menu. If the menu that is for this program that we have, and the group has decided that this is the menu is rice, and then somebody comes from the back door and begin to offer beans, you will know that something is wrong. Because if we as a group decided that we want to cook rice for this party that we want to do, this program that we want to do, the food we're going to be cooking is rice, fried rice. And then suddenly, after during the program, you see beans coming in. What are you going to say? Something is wrong. And okay, it is our leader. It is the man. Okay, it is the leader that cooked the beans. Okay, we'll accept it. No. Or they say, who cooked the beans? Oh, it is Papa Ejima. Oh, because it's Papa Ejima, why should Papa Ejima cook beans when we said it is rice? No, as long as it is Papa Ejima, no, we're not going to eat this beans. These beans, no, go and throw it away. Oh, but it's our leader, and that maybe let's say the leader now is maybe the leader is maybe the name of the leader is Obina. It is Obina who is our leader that cooked the beans. Okay, we accept it because it is our leader. Even if we agree that what it is going to be rice. It is not who, it is what did we agree? What? The substance, the ideology. That's it. Disruption of the layer, down menu. The ideology is it is not whether I'm the one who is preaching it now, who is talking about the process, who is talking about the procedure. No. And that is why under the accountability and transparency group, we operate on that level of understanding that when you come in, you have that to something to lead you or to control you. No. So that is why it is open for anybody. As long as you retrace your step and say, I am no more a Nigerian, you can now come in. We want to work under that platform. The word transparency, the phrase transparency and accountability is a cynosure of our operation. It's not a name of another group in the sense of another group, even if it is called a group. It is an expression of the attitude, the character, and the personality of that group. What does it mean by personality? That means the image of that group. Because when you open a company, it's a person. In law, it is a personality. It is a body. It is a person. So it can be sued. The company can be sued because it's a person under the law. So the image or the expression of what we do is vividly spelled out in the narrative of the phrase transparency and accountability. So let me explain this clear so that you people understand. Why the transparency and accountability group came to be is because we needed a system to bring us back up so that we can retrace our steps. We have gone far away from the truth. We are glorifying people. We are doing it wrong. We want to get Biafra, but we are using the procedure of Nigeria, the template of Nigeria, to achieve Biafra. It is not possible. It is not possible. For the next zillion years, let me play it as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it. Let me play it again so that you can hear it from our leader. I want to play it. Please listen attentively. Listen attentively so that you will know whether I'm on the right track, whether I'm saying the truth. So that all these e-frogs, these ones who have made themselves to become e-frogs, you are delaying your freedom by supporting impunity, by supporting lack of transparency, by supporting lack of accountability. You are just delaying your freedom, and you will become a victim of your decision. That is why we couldn't get Biafra during the election, even if we knew that the election was a very strategic period, because lies were being propagated. We couldn't get it then. We couldn't carry out any action because everything was on lies. Listen to Mazen Amdekano. Listen.
If we abandon Chukwukika Biama in truth and honesty, this goodbye to Biafra. Biafra had any pure years. You'll be only running around in circles. You can never come. It is the kingdom of heaven itself. You want to do something that is happening in heaven, on earth, for mankind to see and testify to the grace of the Lord. You have to be of the courage. You have to be without fear in the face of your enemies. If you are without fear before your enemies will run from you. Rather than you running from them, your enemies will run from you. If you speak the truth always, regardless of the consequences, lies will run from you. You must protect those who cannot protect themselves, not to steal from them.
Now, I want to make a brief explanation here because I know some people will be saying, Mazen Amdekano was talking about if you abandon Chukwukike. Or Mazen Amdekano was saying if you are fearless, that's when if you are fearless, you're going to get Biafra. That Mazen Amdekano was not talking about all these things you are saying. He's talking about not being fearless. He's talking about not being, not to have fear, before your enemies. Now, let me tell you something. Let me explain this. Chukwukike, that Mazen Amdekano talked about, that if you abandon him, you will not get Biafra. It's not what you are doing. For the fact that you are coming every day, you say, in Chukwukike. No, it is not by what you say. It is by the substance of what you say. And the substance of what you say is in the content of what you project by your actions and behaviors. Now, let me tell you this. As I told you the other time, I said Jesus prayed in John chapter 17, verse 17. He said, sanctify them by thy truth. Remember, Mazen Amdekano mentioned truth. Thy word is truth, which means if his word was with God, the word was God. Get it right? In the beginning was the word. God was God. That means when you talk about word, you are talking about truth. Because he says, sanctify them by the truth. Thy word is truth. So if the word is, then God himself is the signature of truth, who is the person of the personality called truth. So when Mazen Amdekano was talking about imbibing God, and so standing on the truth is the definition of God in the context of what Mazen Amdekano is talking about. Abandon truth. If you abandon truth. Now let's go further. He said that you must be fearless. Now let me tell you something. But of love, of power, and of a sound mind. What does that tell you? When someone gives you anything, it simply means they have it. Am I correct? No one gives you what they don't have. So if God cannot give you the spirit of fear, it means God does not have fear. So if you are talking about fear here, fear is not a product of lies. It's a product of truth. Because God has not given us the spirit of fear because he has no fear in him. But the things he has in him, he has given to us the spirit of love, of power, and of sound mind. Now, these three spheres of spiritual connotation, or this spiritual dimension, love, power, sound mind, explains the fullness of God on the template of truth, and is the only fundamental program that can get us freedom. I will explain this, but because I have already my comrade here, Comrade Ken, he's already here, so I don't want to go further. Love, power, sound mind. These are the three that will form the basis of my next teaching. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of love, power, and of a sound mind, so that you can understand how this applies to the gospel of Biafra, so that you can understand how these three spiritual strengths, these three spiritual concepts, these three spiritual force will shape our minds and give us our freedom. This is very serious, a very serious thing, and you must understand it. I'm going to come with this in tomorrow's teaching, because this time around we are going into teaching because we want to put you on the right platter. Transparency, accountability. And let me tell you, as I told you initially, nobody can tell you they are more transparent or more accountable than you when you decide to join that program. Because we are all on the same template, working to be made perfect. It's a process. I have my lapses, you have your lapses, but we are working to be made perfect. And we must stand on the truth to maintain it. Comrade, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Let me read something that Ego said before I call you in. And let me read what has been said so far. Ego said, a lack of accountability leads to nowhere. And that's just the truth. You can't. Where do you want to go? Because accountability is what takes you through the process of transparency. Transparency is the structure. Accountability makes you meander through the hurdles to pass the test of transparency. That's it. I'll explain that better later. And Ego says even Chukwokike himself worked with principles, accountability, and he expects same from us. And I'm going to explain this tomorrow, how he also, Chukwokike, works with the principles and is accountable. You will know that. You know, when he said, let us make man in our own image, talking to the Godhead, he was actually talking about we have to take the process, the due process of doing this thing in our image, in our form, in our image, in how going in the line of what we are, who we are, after our likeness. And this person we're going to form in our image would have dominion, will be fruitful and multiply and have dominion and replenish. That is the process of the dimension that proves the accountability or the accountable dimension of man's capability as having the transparent image of God, because he must represent and showcase the result by what he does. And that result is what proves the concept of accountability. Prince says it's a matter of time and it doesn't matter how long it takes, because nothing good comes easy. Yes, nothing good comes easy. I tell you, there will be fights. There will be misunderstandings. In fact, there will be what we call, they say, devil, Satan. In fact, sometimes we are even going to think that the demonic program of the enemy is fighting against us. No, forget about those. No demonic program can divide a mission of truth. It's not possible. Only when we concede to that. So even when we have our misunderstandings and our arguments, they are all on the premise of wanting to get it better, so that we can have, as long as the mindset is true. The only time people get destabilized and cut off track is when they are not coming with that truthful mind. Let me give you an instance. When Adam and Eve were in that stuff, in the garden, I say in that stuff. You know what happened to Adam and Eve? You know what happened to Adam and Eve? When the serpent was speaking to the woman, and Adam was just there, just watching. Somebody will say, how? Who told you Adam was there? Adam wasn't there. Well, in scripture it stated Adam was there when she was talking with the serpent. You know what? Eve already had a mind for the fruit. So it influenced her conversation with the serpent. That was why she was easily manipulated into it. I'll talk about this tomorrow. I'll give perspective to this. Somebody should remind me too, in case I forget, so that I can, because I've said several things under the platter of love, power, and of sound mind. I'm going to explain all of these details. IPOB Accountability and Transparency Movement has two primary tasks: rescue Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and restore Biafra. This is just so clear, so clear. We rescue Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and restore Biafra. And everybody is critically part of this. Comrade, you're welcome. Good to have you. You have the microphone. Let me give you the microphone because I've been speaking for 1 hour plus now. So let me give you the microphone. Please just go on this topic and whatever you want to say in this regard and the things that come into your mind to talk about.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kelechi. You know, I'm sorry that I joined you late today. So I was a little bit busy. You know, sometimes we need to have time for our kids too. So our people know that we are not just here to come run our mouths. We also have
That's
people
right.
we have to take responsibility for. We also have people that we are here for, not only for ourselves, but for our children and the unborn generations. So thank you for having me. You know, the topic for today is very, very interesting because most Biafrans don't really understand what is happening to them. You know, it seems like the way I feel, and I know so many people feel that way, is that we Biafrans, let me not use a particular race in this Biafran issue. We Biafrans are too daft, you know. So sometimes I use the phrase that the entire Africa are somehow so daft. This is why there was a person I was talking to one time, and this man told me, how can just a number of people who are not even up to 1,000 will come to Africa and come and take our people just to slavery, just be kidnapping them and be taking them away. Maybe they are not even up to 1,000 men, you know, in an entire continent. They come and rape the continent and just left. So why I'm saying this is that Biafrans should know this. We are not just here coming to talk about Simon Ekpa, but we are coming here to enlightening Biafrans. So you can go online and you can see different Biafran government in exile, a lot, maybe 3 or 4. It doesn't mean nothing. But what we are talking about is which one of them is the real one that Ojukwu pronounced himself. I don't know if any Biafran or those watching us, those people who still believe in other groups, let me not be using the name of a particular person, those people who still believe in other groups, do they normally go make a research? Biafran government in exile, Republic of Biafran government in exile. There is the one that called himself Biafran Republic government in exile. Do they go and research anything that is not with republic before the nation is null and void? This is just what I'm telling you today. You can prove me, just come and prove me wrong. I told Biafrans already yesterday, you should go online, Google about government in exile. You don't need something, don't write Biafra, don't write anything, just write government in exile. You will see different things you can read about. You see different things the government in exile represent. You understand? You see passport, ID card, anything you want to know about Biafra, about government in exile. then you will now see the examples they are making about governments in exile. You will see China Republic, you will see Macedonia Republic, you will see Russian Republic, you will see different republics there. But there is nowhere on earth you will ever see a republic before a country, which is China Republic, or which is Russian Republic. It doesn't work. It don't happen. So that is why I said the autopiloter should go tell Simon Ekpa, because I think they are doing what we are saying today. Because when we tell them something, they go and do it. This is why Azuka came up to come and tell people whenever you call her to ask her question, what is happening, that she will just she will take you out of anything you have to do with autopilot. We told you people, go and ask them questions if they will not remove you from that group. We said it. If you don't forget what we say. So we are not here to come and brag to tell you whatever we say happens. No, we know what we are talking about. It's either you believe, you accept it, you take it, or you leave it. But at the end, you will still come back to this point that we are today. You will still come back to the point. So this issue of Republic of Biafran government in Ezra. So please, before you put, I'm taking my finger in my nose. I just clean up my nose, okay? Because you people always look for something to say, okay? So what I'm trying to say is that this issue of the government in exile, there is no way Simon Ekpa can deceive you people from today till thy kingdom come that you will ever have any fruitful whatsoever from it. You will not come out with nothing with it, because one, he can't register it. He can't even go to Finland and register it. He cannot register it in the United States. That is one point, because the Republic of Biafran government in exile is already registered. Go to their website and see what is there. Then you see how website of a country looks like. If you don't know, let me tell you what to write. Just put in Republic of Biafra.org.org. Then you go inside there. You go see for yourself. And you come and make comparison with that crap that Simon Ekpa gave to you and tell you it's a website. Yeah? So this is what we are trying to let you know. Simon Ekpa have caged your brain inside Enter Biafra. He have caged your brain inside Enter Biafra. So outside world can come in to ask Simon Ekpa questions. So outside Biafrans who are not even taking part in this very struggle cannot come and ask Simon Ekpa questions. It doesn't mean that it's only those of us that are in this struggle today that are fighting for Biafra. Every Biafran is a stakeholder in this very struggle, even if he is with us or not. This is what I want to let you know. There is nobody you can deprive coming into Biafra land when we gain our freedom. We can only use the laws that we put in place to judge anybody for whatever he have done when Biafra comes. But you can't stop nobody not to come to Biafra. Even if I'm not a member of IPOB today, or a member of the struggle today, if Biafra come, you can't stop me to come to my fatherland. If not, there will be civil war in Biafra land for more than decades. If you want to, if you think I'm joking, you will see it yourself. What we are trying to do is just to build up the brain of our people, of the Biafran people. Just to make sure we give you some sense of reasoning before Biafra comes. We are just trying to teach you. It's like you are going to the university, as Mazen Nandi can always say, that when you come to this program, you come with your pen and paper, because there are some things you have to put down, so you go and learn. Because if we get Biafra today, and we are not careful, it will be a chaos. Let me tell all of you. Even if it is Mazen Nandi that he brings that Biafra to us, there will be a chaos. I'm saying it. Go and write it down. I said it. No matter who gets this Biafra today, there will be a chaos if we are not careful. Because you can't change the mind of a man. You can't change the brain of a man or the behavior of a human who have been living for over 50 years. You can't come up tomorrow and tell him this glass you know before it's not a glass anymore, or you can't drink with it anymore. He will tell you, what are you talking about? You have to sensitize our people. Our people have to restore themselves first. We are going into restoration. Let me ask Biafran, how are you people restoring yourself? Or you only come out to talk, you only come out to write, you only come out to condemn people, you only come out to insult people. Have you think about yourself if you have been restored before you restore Biafra? Before you restore Biafra, you have to restore yourself. That's what Onyendu said. Those that will get Biafra, they were already prepared from their mother's womb. Those are people that have been restored. They know what it takes. They know what it is. They know what accountability is. They know what transparency is. They know what freedom fighting is. So this is just what it is. Not coming on social media to come and jab, not coming on social media to come and be insulting people, to come and be commenting, to come and be writing some jargons. This is not the issue. This is not freedom fighting. Freedom fighting is tell the people the truth, lead the people through the right path. This is what we are talking about here. You do things in freedom fighting that will tomorrow profit and benefit the people you are fighting for, not what will cause a chaos to them, not what will lead to their danger, not what will lead to their death. No. So this is what we want people to know. Simon Ekpa have gotten everything wrong. No matter what he says today, he can tell you whatever he wants to tell you, but he have gotten it wrong. And we are telling him to retrieve his steps from this very struggle. I think he just came out, Kelechi, if you can remind me. He came out to post something about Ejimako. But Simon, about 2 weeks ago, you told us you are not taking any order from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So why are you taking the things that the lawyers are bringing out of that place? Who are you fooling? Anything the lawyers comes out to say, you take glory to it. So where are your men? Today, your men came out and started writing in Twitter space that Enugu State, they have withdrawn their steps in Enugu State. What have you done to withdraw your step? What has the governor said in Enugu State? Have the governor debunked what he said already? That he don't say it again, that they will not be sit at home? Did he say anything? So how come you retrieve your step? How come you retrieve your army back? The army you don't have. I'm telling Biafrans, before anybody will come up to say something that Simon Ekpa is fighting for this struggle, is fighting for Onyendu, is fighting for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, want to liberate us. Tell Simon to go and liberate Abia State where he come from. I don't know if I'm correct. He should go and liberate Abia State first. Let's have freedom in Abia State before he can come and talk to other states in Biafra land. I am from Enugu State. You cannot come and speak what you don't know. I know everything and hook and corners of Enugu State. I know what is going on there every day. I have my people there. I have my family there. I have everything there. You can't come and be telling me craps. And each of you, the followers of Simon Ekpa, go assess your state. If you are from Edo State, assess Edo State. If you are from River State, assess River State. If you are from Delta State, assess Delta State. If you are from Kogi, all those states we call Biafra region, go assess your state. What is happening in your state and come and tell your people the truth. Don't hide behind Simon Ekpa and be talking nonsense. We have people who are living in Biafra land. You know what is happening in Anambra State. You know what is happening in Ebonyi State, in Abia State, in Imo State. Go and make your research, assess those things, and come online and tell the people the truth, what is happening there, if anything is going on. If Simon Ekpa is showing any impact in any state in Biafra land. But all he do is come online and be talking nonsense.
That's why Ebonyi State also. That's where he's from.
Yeah, he's from Ebonyi State. I'm sorry. You know, Ebonyi State and Abia State, they're almost the same thing. It's just this division of states and whatsoever. You know, we are all one people. It's like when you talk about Enugu State, the people in Anambra will say, "Oh, I'm Anambra State," and Enugu State man is Wawa or whatsoever. But that idiot, those people will forget that they were previously Anambra and Enugu was previously one. They don't want to know anything about divide and rule. So Simon Ekpa should go to Ebonyi State and go make peace in Ebonyi State. Go conquer Ebonyi State first before you come to any other state. Because the Imo State where your I don't call them ESN, where your gangsters are, you can't even secure Imo State. Did Mazi Nnamdi Kanu tell you people that the ESN are living in a suite or in a hotel or in a house? He told us they're in the bushes. But Simon Ekpa's commanders are living right in the city. And you tell me they don't have anything to do with the government. So my brother, let me sip a water. You can just continue from here before I come back.
Yeah, thank you so much, comrade. People must understand that we have to set things right for us to now go into our freedom. what is holding us and what is keeping us away from our freedom is not because we don't have what it takes. It's not because we don't have the men. It's not because we don't have the mental toughness or strength. It's not because we don't have even the resources as a people. Or it's not even because we don't have, the intelligence and all of that, or the Fulanis are too smart or too wise or too powerful, but because we have distorted that simple thing, that thing that would bring all of this stuff together and harness them for us to get our freedom. And that is simple. Truth. Telling ourselves the truth. If we refuse to fix this, those who have the monies will not see it as very, because they don't tell themselves the truth, they will not be able to use their resources for it. Those who contribute and bring their resources, the resources will be plundered, the resources will be stolen, people will steal the money, even when you contribute it for the stuff, just like Simon and Co. and Azuka is doing. They will steal the money as they come, they use it for their personal aggrandizement and personal businesses. Those who have the mental toughness would be contracted to satisfy the betrayals, or those who are betraying, or satisfy the enemies, because the enemies will give them more money as much as they have mental toughness. They will be given money because they don't have the right mind to understand that their mental toughness to fight for their land is for their land. It's not for the highest bidder. Those who have the knowledge and the intelligence will not utilize it for the truth, to say the truth and all of that, or to project whatever the truth. We know that most of those people who are with Simon and the DOS members and all of that, those are fundamental e-frogs who, of course, some of them could have been able to do little things with their time and all of that for the freedom of Biafra, but because they are not yet on the path of truth, they have refused to allow themselves to follow it. You see, truth is broad spectrum. That is why I was talking about be transformed by the renewing of your mind, because the mind is the heart of life. The mind is the heart. Remember, the heart also is defined as the mind, but now we want to use the heart as an adjective here to explain the concept of the mind. The heart, the mind being the heart of life, meaning that the mind is the room, the throne room. Now, let me give you the definition I gave, my personal definition of the mind, in using a kingdom to explain it here so that you can understand here. And as much as I can, by tomorrow or so, I'm going to explain further into this. The mind is, listen to my definition of the mind, so that you can understand and position it and place it the way you should place it. The mind is the throne. Now, I know everybody understands what the throne represents. Now, listen to how the mind becomes the throne. The mind is the throne. In the throne room of life. Remember, every throne has a throne room, where matters are initiated, assessed, and implemented all through the humanistic kingdom. I'll define it again. This is my personal definition of the mind. The mind is the personality on the throne, in the throne room of life, where matters are initiated, assessed, not accessed, ACC, ASSESS, and implemented all through the humanistic kingdom. Listen, if you observe in this narrative of my definition, I talked about personality, I talked about throne, I talked about throne room, and then I talk about as initiating. And of course, remember that initiating has to do with personality. Assessing also has to do with personality. Implementing also has to do with personality. And then I talked about humanistic kingdom. Now, all of this initiating, assessing, implementing, relating to the personality has what is has everything to do with the throne, because the throne defines all of this process. I'm going to explain this better by tomorrow because I don't have much time here now to talk about it because we're just two here now. But what I'm trying to make you understand is your mind is what governs your action and everything you do. Biafra. Pursue after lies, telling lies, deceiving yourselves, becoming e-frogs, jump everywhere, lie to yourself, support the lies, support the criminals. Everybody who is deceiving you, somewhere they have Biafra house and they have this house and they have that house, supporting all of this evil is all these things you are doing is the product. That tells value that you have in your mind. That tells the contexts or the flavor of your mind and the wrong things, because your mind is abused by deficiencies that are contrary, and these things are dangerous for anything to be progressive, for anything fundamental to be progressive. We are dealing with a situation here that is very critical. Having so much money to even bribe, try to destroy, and that is governed by the narrative of void the resources of the enemy. Nigeria and Britain has so much money, they can buy your mind, they can influence your mind. It only takes the narrative, just like Ken says, I touch my nose now, it doesn't mean I'm scratching. Because they know how to look for where to cut quickly. Exactly. They look for where to cut to use as an insult. So they won't look at the substance of what you're doing. They're looking at what they just because they want to live in lies.
Exactly.
They don't think the truth. Nigeria and their agents. Who are their agents? People like Ngozi Raboise, people like all these people they send into the midst of the program we're doing. All these people like China and Warren and Co. that have gone to collect money from them. They are all agents. Once you collect money and dance to the tune of the Nigeria contraption, you're an agent of the Nigeria system and of British Empire. You're an agent. And all of these agents, the reason why they are functioning as agents and operating as agents is because they are not guarded on their mind realm, by the truth. And the reason why you support people like Simon is because your mind is not guarded by truth. You can't imagine that somebody is supporting the impunity going on right now when there are obvious evidences that Simon and Co. have done grievous evil against the people, killing the people, contracted enemies of Biafra to do their functions, and yet somebody supports them. Where is the problem from? From their mind. It is as simple as that, from the mind. But because we don't pay attention to the content of our mind, we carry out the program of our minds, not being conscious of the implication of what we are doing, and of course being conscious of the fact that we have some things inside of us that is fueling this malfunction of our minds. Guide your heart with all due diligence, that's what scripture says, because out of it flows the issues of life. I think Proverbs, I'm trying to remember now. Oh Lord, have mercy, help me. Seems we are beginning to forget all this, we are beginning to forget all of this stuff. We have to go back to start remembering them. Those days as a child in the children's department, we have scripture in our heads, crammed scriptures. Now troubles, Nigeria trouble and everything has caused us to have gray hair. Now we are even forgetting the things we crammed. Those days, because survival of the fittest will come before the church, and children will line up. We'll be reciting, and you recite without mistake. Once you make a mistake, you have lost. You go in. I always confessed because people will say every parents or every father and mother is always coming first in the result, anyways. Every mother and father, including the daft one, they will say, when I was like you this stubborn boy, you this stubborn girl, I used to carry first in class. For where? For where? Well, that is the narrative of many parents, anyways. But for my own, anyways, that's survival of the fittest. Those who know me when I was little, who are here in case they are here. Somebody came here. You see, that's why we say we have some people are just the mind. Somebody says, please list out the evidences. He wants me to give him evidences. You see, his mind is so shallow and his brain is so small that he doesn't see any evidence. He wants me to give him evidence of the evils of Simon. He doesn't see any evidence. Simon came all out, showed him a building, told him he has acquired a building. And later he said he has no more acquired a building. He only took to C2. He didn't see the evidence. The guy, that's E-Frog, didn't see it as evidence. So that's not an evidence.
You know the evidence. You know the evidence I want to give him. Come right. Just tell him to take his handy because he's using a smartphone. He should take up his smartphone, raise it up, leave it, allow it to smash on the floor. Then he will get the evidence.
The evidence. That's a yes.
Because he don't know the use of that thing he have in his hand.
Yes. Simon came all out, said in 150 days you're going to get Biafra. This is over more than another extra how many months now added, about 90 days added to that 150 days. He has not seen the Biafra. He doesn't see evidence in that. Simon came all out and said that you were transparent, and then Azuka is told to give account. Azuka is not giving account. In fact, Azuka says he will block anybody who asks her for account. He didn't see any evidence. It's not an evidence to him. Those are not evidences. Someone came all out, brought the pictures, took a photoshopped stuff flag, put on in front of it, put the coat of arms at the center, tells you that that is Biafra house, that he has acquired that house. He didn't see evidence in it. That is why we said your small brains, we are just here to teach you, but we know that some of you are too petty and your brains are too small to accommodate truth because you have been doomed to be consumed. You have been doomed to consume. So we're not bothered about people like that, all these people who have fake names. In their names alone will tell you that they have no basis. They have no face. They have no person. Somebody comes here and says he's Daddy Oka. Daddy Oka. It doesn't make sense. Is that a name? It doesn't make sense. That is why they don't even know the implication of names. Somebody comes here and says his name is Men Rocking. Doesn't make sense. That is why they are so they have this small brain that is malfunctioning. It is small, but it's still malfunctioning. You can imagine the complexities. When the brain is small, now when it is small, it reduces the functionality. Little functionality is even operating. And the C2 alone, of course, Canon View says even the C2 was not rented by Simon Rogue Team. Rather, a portion of C2 was subletted to Simon. That's it. The person who owns that C2 sublets a part of it, and they are using that place to play games. And yet, no, but that's daddy. That person that calls himself daddy, he's a daddy to some human beings. He doesn't have sense. He doesn't see any evidence. He wants the one I will give him. He wants the evidence that Kelechi will give to him, or Comrade Ken will give to him, or Accountability and Transparency Group will give to him. That is how small their brains are, and in spite of how small it is, it still malfunctions. It's devastating and disastrous. That's why I said the mind is the personality. Now that personality is that personality we're talking about, which the mind is qualified by the ability to initiate ideas, access, and implement these ideas. Now, what happens to these kinds of people? Their mind is possessed with the ideas that are being initiated from a malfunctioning mind. So what they express is a malfunctioned information, which comes. Have you seen where computer garbages something? When your phone, I remember those days, this 33 Nokia 3310, when it begins to malfunction, you just be pressing, you press one key, different things will be coming up, or it does it. And of course, even this touch pad too we use these days. You touch and something, you begin to bring different stuff. You cannot type. You are typing, it brings different things. You just
Exactly.
this they happen to this phone. That is how their brains are malfunctioning. They see the error from Simon, their brain malfunction. Their brain begin to bring different things. They get confused, and because their brains are small, they cannot process the information, and so they just conclude that the information should be good. They just want it to be good because they can't process the information. So all they need to do is just say that it is good.
You know what I normally tell people is that this, most time I don't like talking about let me just say religion or something, but I speak about God, because God is Chukwu Okike Abiama, which is the creator of heaven and earth, But I want our people to know that no matter who you are, you yourself, go judge yourself. Your mind, that's your mind, is the devil, that same mind is the God, because that is what leads you to anything you do. It works with your brain. Your brain is like the engine house. When you start a car, the engine starts. Then you now have other things, the steering and other things to use to maneuver the car. This is what the heart is. You understand? Your heart leads you to any evil and atrocity you commit in today. It's you and your God. That is why our people said, Onye na chi egi na chi gi. It's what Simon ever decided with his God, that his God can be a devil, that this is what he wants to do to Biafrans. And this is what he wants to do to Onyendu. That's why he's doing it. That is why when I look at people, sometimes I will just laugh. I will say, why can't this person be a good man? Like Kelechi, like Pastor Livingstone, like Prince, like Madam Ife Onwubiko, like our brother here that is commenting here. What is that his name? Can you remind me, because I can't see my screen here? Media. Like a lot of our comrades that are here with us today. Why can't people be like them? Why can't they have the same mind? Do you think God fly from heaven to come into them? No. It is the mindset they have. It is the spirit they requested for. If you requested for the spirit of good, it comes to you. If you requested for the devilly spirit, it will enter you anytime you want it. That's why I always tell people, don't tell me you trust me. Don't tell me you know me. Because tomorrow, just watch my steps. Watch what I do. Because tomorrow I may be what you don't expect. I may be the devil you know, the angel you know before, but tomorrow I may be the worst devil you don't want to encounter in your life. This is how life is. Things can lead to these things. The situation of someone's life, the present condition that person is facing, a lot of things can lead to these things. That is why you see people, sometimes, there was a time I do go to the prison to visit people. You understand? So there was a group of members of a church that I attend here. We do go to the church every Tuesday and every Thursday to visit people. What are we doing there? Just trying to recycle the brain of the people in the prison. So when they comes out, they are a different person. But there are people, I always tell them, no matter what you say to this person, if he comes out, he will remain the same person. I told psychologists these things. You can be a psychologist, you can study what you want to study, but you can never change a human being unless if that person wants to change. It's just like a smoker who smokes cigarettes, or a smoker who smokes weed, or somebody who takes drugs. You can give him a therapy as you want. Once him and his mind have not decided to stop that nonsense because of the implication, he never stops it. It's him and his God. So this is just what Biafrans need to know. You and your God, that's why our people say, if I curse with my hand, let me carry it on myself. Let it not go to my grandchildren. Let it not go to my grandchildren. Let it not go to my children. Let it happen to me now that I'm still alive. Let me face the wrath. That's why in Europe, they don't pity people. They don't beat somebody. If you commit any crime, you goes wrong, you do something that is against the law, you will come and stand before the court. If you are to be sentenced, you go to prison. People commit crimes when they are still young. Maybe they are 10 years old or they are 15 years old. They start committing some crimes. You will see police will just write it up. overlook it. But once that person comes to 19 years to 20 years, they come and pick him up and say the whole thing you committed when you were 15 years, now you are up to the age where you can go to prison. This is how it is. So that's why they don't pity somebody here. They don't say, oh, Biko, Bagaria, no Ekwensu. No Ekwensu. That person himself is Ekwensu. Ekwensu is not somewhere.
Very well.
So this is what Biafrans have to know, because if you watch what the Fulanis are doing today, are they not praying to God? They are praying to God, but the evil they are committing today is inside them. They are the devil themselves. That is what they want to do. That is what they decide with their God they want to do, or with the Satan that is inside them that they want to do. This is just the fact. So we have to wake up. We have power. The Igbos have power. The Biafrans have power. The entire Biafra land have power that you people don't know. That's why I said anybody who is a Biafran, go know who you are, because you don't know who you are. You can move mountain. Biafrans build pyramid before the pyramid you see in Egypt today that people are going to watch. Go to Enugu State, you see them. But they destroyed it. The British destroyed them because they don't want those proofs to be shown. You people don't know who you are. That's why some charlatans will come here and come and be talking to people. You think you can just come out and just take your handset and chat? Oh, Kelechi, you are stupid. Oh, Kelechi, you are talking to Simon. Who is Simon? Simon don't know nothing. Simon is telling you people that anybody who wants to talk to him should go consult the oracle. I don't need to consult oracle. I am oracle myself.
Sure.
This is how it is. Because the truth, I don't need to get it from the oracle. So my comrade, please continue.
Yeah, thank you so much, comrade. We already.
I'm just searching for something.
We just have about 3 minutes to run. Today we're going to be ending. Of course, we have a lot to do. Thank God Ego mentioned something, conscience here. I think we're going to look at the mind, and then we're going to look at the concept of the conscience in relation to the mind. Next time we come, we're going to be looking at always here commenting Yati. Oh my God. Yati. Make me remember all these Yoruba slangs. Jati, and Yati, and all of this stuff. And all of that. So we want to appreciate you, but we know that we are sending a message, and those who are reasonable, who have been destined to succeed and destined to do the right thing, and based on the fact that although nobody is destined to do the right thing anyways, based on their own mindset, they will do the right thing. You know, and as I told you, I'm going to give you the definition of the mind again, my own definition of the mind, so that you can understand it. And next time we meet, I'm going to give you an explanation of this definition so that you can understand why I chose the words carefully to make this definition. The mind is the personality on the throne, in the throne room of life, where matters are initiated, assessed, and implemented all through the humanistic kingdom. The mind is the personality on the throne. Somebody says, listen to you guys is simply a waste of time. That because your mind has a problem. You have a malfunctioning mind. It's still the mind. I still refer you to the mind.
Exactly.
You know, obviously you have nothing to offer. That tells you have no mind. Because if after all we're saying, you say we don't have anything to offer, then you'll have a small mind, and that small mind is malfunctioning. And what else do you expect from it? Disaster. That's the disaster you are vomiting now from that small mind. The mind is the personality on the throne, in the throne room of life. Listen to the words I use carefully: personality, throne room. These are fundamental words that will explain all of this stuff later. So we're going to be, so that Biafrans will begin to now think, how is my mind functioning? How is my mind working? So because by the time we begin to think, because sometimes we have forgotten that everything we do, we think it's just by our action. No, it is not prompted by your action. It is prompted by something in you, something that you believe in. And that's just that. Something that you believe in. Somebody saying, compare what you have done and what someone has done so far and tell us the truth. What has Simon done? Can you lay down, just type what Simon has done here. Let's see. That's why we said you have a small mind. You see, the more you talk, that is the problem about these people who have small minds that are more functioning. They will keep saying something, just like Simon now. Anytime he comes out, he must expose himself. It is a law. He will expose himself because he is on the path of lies. So the so-called daddy that is a malfunctioning daddy to his children. I don't know which children. Can you give us the things that he has done? Anyways, we don't have time for you. Anyways, just type them there anyway, so that people can see. And the next time we come, we're going to talk about them because we are short of time. You only have a small mind that is malfunctioning. You don't want to learn so that your mind can be expanded by the words of truth. Reprobate spirit, yes, reprobacy, because of small mind. You know, when small minds begin to malfunction, they begin to have a reprobate spirit. Oh my god, it's so funny. This guy is now exploding and coming out with all the jati and yati inside of him, according to Ego.
What is he writing? What is he saying?
Your minds are dead, your brains are dead, you are lost, your purpose in life, thinking that someone is your problem rather than the Islamic.
We are coming to the Islamic people. When the Islamic people in that contraption, when we get to their stage, you people will see what will happen. You understand? They will all run away from Biafra land. You don't know the history. You know these people don't know the history of Biafra. You know. Go and read more about the history. When in the first time when the British and the Fulani wants to come and conquer Biafra land, go read very well what happened between Benue State before they come into Biafra land. What happened to those army that the British come with? That is where you know who you are as a Biafran.
Yes.
You think it's only talking about carrying gun and carrying everything. This is how to chase Fulanis away from our land. You don't know nothing because you are a dumb ass person.
In fact, I was discussing with somebody this afternoon. In fact, before I joined the meeting, later the meeting we had, you know, I was just discussing with somebody, and I was telling him that, see, I have to come to, because we need to discover who we are into the fullest, so we can really get, and that comes from the mind, understanding the concept of who we are, and the content we carry. We have the content in us. What we carry is fundamental. And that is what guides us and governs us. That's what guides us. See, Biafrans, you must understand this. Our mind needs to be redirected because we are actually out there expressing a malfunctioned mind. That is why people can sell Mazen and Bekano. That is why people can follow Simon in spite of all the lies. That is why somebody will come out and say, Simon, can you tell us what Simon, can you do what Simon has done? And yet he cannot say what Simon has done. Because oh Lord have mercy, our minds, please, Biafrans, we should wake up. And that is why the accountability group is calling out on you so that you can work with that mindset of truth. Because under the accountability and transparency group, your mind, your conscience will judge you, because when you come in there and everybody's talking about truth, you know that you are in a place where you cannot trade with lies. We know they look face. We they tell them how it is in that place. So you must understand.
I'm just going through something here on my desktop. You see why I said the Biafrans, those autopiloters that are following Simon Ekpa, who always come up here to tell us that we are talking, but we are not doing nothing. Or we are just against Simon Ekpa, we are yapping or something like that. I want to tell them, how many of you have gone to the website that Simon Ekpa called the website of the Biafran Republic government? How many of you have been there? Did you see anything that shows you that Mazen Nandekano is the leader of Biafra in that very website? Did you see anything that shows you that there is a problem in Biafra land, like pictures, like videos, just something to show the world that something is going on in Biafra land? Did you see anything there? You daft people that always come here to insult people. But you people can go to that website, you say, oh, our prime minister have done something. Go into the website of the Republic of Biafran government in SI. Go into their website and see, make comparison with what Simon Ekpa gave to you people. For you to know that he's a scam. You understand? We are not talking about the Biafran house he's talking about. We just kept quiet, but we don't forget. He gave us a date.
Yes.
He gave us a date when he's going to, when he's going to open that very office.
When they're going to have the personnel, we're going to have the personnel. All those chairs there, we're going to have personnel seats there. They're going to have the functioning office. And Azuka and Co will be seated there. They're going to conduct their
ministers.
You know, and then
ministers will fly from all over the countries to come to that place. We are waiting for him.
The ministers will come. We're going to have those office workers. In fact, daily, the office workers will be showcasing what they're doing daily in that office and how they're working. All of this we're waiting. He thinks it's just about coming to show these things and talk about them. We're waiting. We're not. We're here. The truth is waiting. Truth is observing and waiting. That is it. Pastor, you're welcome. I don't know if Pastor is here or just are you here, please? Because the video is not on, so I'm not sure whether you're here. Are you here? Okay, I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, once we see the video, although we're running off now, but I don't think he's here. Maybe he just wants to come in and watch, but mistakenly came up. Are you here, Pastor? Okay, he's not here. So thank you all. We have done a lot today. We have spoken extensively. And for those who are babies, like Adazion have said, Daddy is just a baby. And Ego says you should keep crying and cry, baby, cry, cry, baby. Cry, cry, baby, I want to see your mother. You know, that is who Daddy is. You know, yati, yati, neku, yati, yati. Mixing Yoruba and English, Yoruba and, no, not English, but was it Yoruba and Igbo? You know, yati, yati. You know, we all want to appreciate you guys. Please send this message. Subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed. Send this message far, far, far on all your social media platforms. Let people listen to this gospel of truth. These are the things we can't achieve Biafra if we don't go this extra mile. I tell you, if we don't correct these anomalies, making things right. I use that word making because it's a process. It's not setting things right. Making things right. Making is a process. And it comes with uniqueness because in making, you define each of the elements that is taken through the process. That is what it is. So we need Biafra as urgent as much as tomorrow, as much as now, not tomorrow, as much as now. And that is why we have to correct all the anomalies. That is why this teaching is fundamental now. We are now going into teaching. And as we teach, we'll keep exposing the lies. That doesn't mean we'll not talk about that because we know he keep bringing out the lies to manipulate and deceive you. Just like Jesus was giving the truth. You shall know the truth. He was teaching the people. He kept revealing the activities of the Pharisees to them. He kept telling them because the Pharisees will always come with the lies. He needs to open the eyes of the people to see the lies. And much of the gospel of Christ was more of truth and then revealing the lies. So he teaches more and then he reveals the lies. That is what we're doing. That is the strategy in which we are using, and the strategy we're going to use to expose the lies and at the same time give you the information of the truth. And that's also what you have come to do. You know, so very good, very good, very good. We are here to do that. We'll continue this teaching. We're going to go into the renewing of the mind. We're going to go into the power, the love, power, and sound mind. We're going to go into the issue of the conscience. We're going to go into the definition of the mind as I've given to you. The mind is the personality on the throne in the throne room of life where matters are initiated, assessed, and implemented all through the humanistic kingdom so that you can understand the place of the kingdom in what we do. Every personality has a kingdom to master and fulfill. That's what we've come to do. Thank you so much, all. We appreciate you. Comrade, you have anything to say to the people finally, and then we round off.
Yeah, my fellow comrades and Biafrans in general. So what I always want to remind you people is that our leader, Maazin Nnamdi Kanu, is still in our enemy's hand. He's still lying every day and night in the DSS dungeon in the contraption called Niga area. You know, so what I'm just telling you people is it is time we have to rise. You people know what happened in the United States when George Floyd was killed. People rise up and said, when there is no justice, there will be no peace. So we are just trying to let Biafrans to know when there is no justice for Maazin Nnamdi Kanu, there will be no peace. So put this in your mind. Come and join the accountability group. Let's be truthful to each other, transparency, and let's make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being released, and so we can restore Biafra. So our motto from now is rescue Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and restore Biafra, which is RR. So I thank you all for today, and may God be with all of you. And Chukwu Okike Abiama will continue to bless those of you that are supporting this very accountability group, coming around when we are here. So God will bless every one of you in multiple fold. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, comrade. Kunon View Media says, I saw a memo from Chike Doziem scolding Alo Manuel Kanu. The memo treated Nnamdi Kanu like someone who has lost his autonomy. Shows complete disregard for Onyendo. Is it the one that Ejimako posted today talking about the health of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and refusing to give him access to his access to medical attention and all of that? Is it the one you're talking about? I suggest ATG needs to officially respond to that disrespectful memo from Chike Doziem. After all, we are fighting for the as usual. Okay, please can you forward it to me so I can know the one you're talking about, because I think there's one that came out today that I saw also that talks about his health, and where Jumako is saying something like he's not been given access to medical treatment, and so then DSS is refusing and all of that. And then Simon now tagged it and started using it as a means of trying to showcase himself. He wants attention at all times. Okay, yeah, you're saying release today. Okay, the one I'm talking about, is it tomorrow? Was it yesterday? The one I'm talking about, was it released yesterday? Just send me the one you're talking about today. So when we see it now, we're going to officially, we can release a memo, or we can release something to counter all of this stuff, because nobody can disregard Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and then we stand and look at it, because our mission is to rescue him. It's a different one. All right, please. All right, please. Please send it forth so that we can respond to that. The people of Biafra will respond to that, because transparency and accountability is the nature of the people, and that is what we want. Majority of the people want that, and that is what we want, not for the few who are liars and cheats and all of that. So thank you so much, all. We appreciate you. We are grateful to have you, and we are happy to always have you. And it is our honor to always have you here to talk and discuss, and also rub minds, and also listen to us as we speak the words that Chukwu Okike give to us to speak to you, and of course at the same time work on the template of truth to rescue Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and to restore Biafra. And that is what we have come to do. And meet you tomorrow again, hopefully same time or later, but of course it's always 4 p.m. Biafra time, and see how it can run. And sorry, we have exceeded the time today, 12 minutes past, when sometimes things happen and you can exceed the time, but please pardon us for that, and we shall always make sure that we keep the time, and at the same time give you as much as you need to get much of the information you need in line with what we need to do to rescue Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and free Biafra. And of course, we are going to also continue to expose lies to you as we have vowed to do. And don't miss the narrative, and don't miss the focus. When we expose lies, doesn't mean we are trying to talk about people or all of that. It is very important, as Jesus exposed the works of the Pharisees and Sadducees, were working against the truth, as at that time, in his time, to expose the lies of the enemies, to make sure that he installs and instills the gospel of truth. Then there's no way also we cannot use that pattern to expose all the lies, because when they come to say something and you tell you it's a lie, then you will not know. That's what you can know, and we'll keep doing it, and we'll continue to do it. It's but by God's grace we have been able to do lots, and of course we'll continue to do. And of course, remember to join accountability and transparency group. Call the number you have, or call any of us that you know from our Facebook or whatever. Give us a message. We want to have you to be part of us, and everybody is working on the same templates. Nobody is the leader. We're all working together. So thank you so much, all. We appreciate you. God bless you. Very good, and make sure you stay focused. Those of you in Biafra land, be careful as you move and stay focused. Thank you all. God bless you. Very good. Thank you, comrade. Later then. Bye-bye, everyone. Media, Ego, Mada Zion, Edith Nedu, and every other person who is standing on the path of truth. We appreciate you all. We appreciate you all. Everybody who have sent their message, and those who are watching, we appreciate you all. Thank you all. God bless you. Very good. Bye-bye.